Okay, so Francisco, I'll go through your model. I'll just commentate while I'm looking at this. The shoulder's looking really good. I love the connection there. Resolution through here is really good. Detail is all good. Liking this kind of detail. Now remember when you guys are doing this, you're trying to make it look not so CG. And so watch your edges and stuff on here that if you want like a crisper edge or something that doesn't look like you just copied it, it's okay to take one of these and copy it over the next one, but then come over here and do a little like mashing of it. Just, either take a lattice to it. The 2x2x2 lattice does some really nice things. Okay, so if I come through here, I like just grabbing this, and I'm doing stuff for How to Train Your Dragon right now. I use this tool all the time. I'm looking at thick and thin, and just playing with the edges just a little bit so that it doesn't make it as CG as just cutting and pasting. That's the strong point of it, but maybe I make the bottom over here a little thick and thin. Because the stylization of these characters is really important in terms of anything you do here. I like that your chains, feel like it's actually hanging. But as far as making this more kind of stylized and cartoony, it's fine to use a torus, but come back and just give it a little bit of, irregularities like you would in the real world. That, it's not so kind of manufactured and crisp and clean. Edgewise, I like, how that's consistent all the way through. And again, I wouldn't necessarily, go and modify that. But you could, if I'm just looking at thick and thin again, you could come through here and just tweak it a little bit so that one side's, and I know belts are fairly consistent all the way through. The other thing I'm looking at from a design point of view is that the distance from here to here is the same as here to here. And so how do you make that just a little bit more interesting? And this is where you as a designer have to come in and go, okay, I know it's similar right there, but just pushing that just a little bit just helps sell that from a design. Can you take the front and make it just a little bit lower than the back from the 3/4 view? Okay, it just helps sell the interest a little bit. Try not to get things perfectly flat and level, so there's a little bit of a bend underneath here. If I take that, okay. Just give it a little bit of a bend. Okay, her legs forward. Maybe pull this up a little higher on her leg here. Have this drop down a little further. So, that S curve that we talked about before, that you start to see that all over the model. So these are kind of the finishing touches that I'm looking for from you guys to put in your models. Then go back through, delete history. Okay. I like the way that you've got on the pants here. The fold directions are going. It's a good start. Look at the thickness. That's okay. She has socks on. She does. And the shoes are going the right way. Now, don't be afraid to take the sole and actually split it right there and create kind of a separate entity for the sole. I'm going to move the normals and just push that out so that, it feels more like the sole is connected in there. So I don't know how far you got, but that kind of detail of just putting that in. Like how you have a flat. Okay, like to me it feels a little bit wider in the front. Come back here. And obviously if I was doing this, I'd do this a little more. I'd finesse this a little bit more, but I use lattices all the time just for doing kind of broader sculpting on stuff. Okay, and then maybe take the foot, pull it out just a little bit. Okay. Make sure that her foot doesn't get any bigger than her head, because otherwise that makes her really, really young. So you want balance there, but you don't want it overly large, even though it may look like that from this drawing. You're headed in the right direction. It's just, I would worry less about the details right now and get all the big stuff in, get the jacket, the shirt, get the shoes done, and then start going back and adding in the kind of the finer details. So it's good to get that you got the belt block in. But I would even hold off on doing this all the way around and kind of this extra loop that goes through here. And that could be a cheat that just sits on top of it, but get the rest of it in and then go from there, okay? You've got a great start on it. It's looking good, but you need to spend probably another day, I'm thinking, on just modeling clothing, if not more, and backpacks and stuff. I would even, before you get the backpacks in, get the shirt and the jacket, okay? So, Francisco, any questions?